Good morning, viewer. Welcome to our Glory Globe TV. Here's the breaking news. Yes, the University of Sydney-led study discovered a robust correlation between higher levels of overall physical activity, mainly moderate to vigorous intensity physical activity, and a lower risk of type 2 diabetes. The researchers say the study demonstrates higher levels of physical activity should be promoted as a major strategy for type 2 diabetes prevention, which affects millions of Australians. The study involved 59,325 adults from the UK Biobank who wore accelerometers, activity trackers worn on their wrist at the start of the study and were then followed for up to 7 years to track health outcomes. The UK Biobank is a large-scale biomedical database and research resource containing anonymized genetic, lifestyle and health information from 500,000 UK participants. This included genetic markers associated with a higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes. People with a high genetic risk factors had 2.4 times the risk of developing type 2 diabetes when compared with those with a low genetic risk score. The study showed more than an hour of moderate to vigorous intensity physical activity per day was associated with a 74% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes when compared with participants who did less than 5 minutes of physical activity. Another compelling findings was that participants with a high genetic risk but who were in the most physically active category actually had a lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes when compared with those with a low genetic risk but in the least active category. Senior author Associate Professor Melody Dink from the Charles Perkins Center and the Faculty of Medicine and Health says although the role of genetics and physical activity in the onset of type 2 diabetes as well as established, until now most data was self-reported and there was little evidence whether the genetic risk could be counter-reacted by physical activity. We are unable to control our genetic risks and family history, but this finding provides promising and positive news that through an active lifestyle one can fight off much of the excessive risks of type 2 diabetes. Associate Professor Ding says moderate intensity physical activity describes movements that get you sweating and slightly out of breath, such as brisk walking and general gardening. Examples of vigorous intensity physical activity including running, aerobic, dancing, cycling, uphill or at least fast pace and heavy gardening such as digging, all activities that make you out of breath or cause you to breathe heavily. Study to help inform public health guidelines. Diabetes is a global public health concern. In 2021, there were 537 million adults living with diabetes worldwide. Almost 1.2 million Australians were recorded as living with type 2 diabetes in 2020. The findings also hold a strong personal meaning for Associate Professor Ding, whose father was recently diagnosed with type 2 diabetes in his 60s. My dad's side of the family has a history of type 2 diabetes, so the result of the study is extremely heartening for my family and myself. As an already active person, I now have extra motivation to keep this active lifestyle, says Associate Professor Ding. Behind the report, Glory Globe TV, Delhi, India.